Folks, it is officially the best time of the year. It is college football preview magazine season, and the granddaddy of them all, the cream of the crop, was just released. The guru, the expert, Phil Steele's comprehensive review of every single team in America. So you know I had to get my hands on it. So in today's video, I'm going to reveal my instant reaction to everything Phil Steele had to say about Nebraska, whether it's our talent, our statistics, our coaching staff. Where did we get better? Where did we get worse? His hot takes for the Huskers entering 2026. How good will we actually be along with the rest of the Big Ten? Where do we stack up? How good are our opponents? How hard is our schedule? An exclusive look at Phil Steele's magazine, everything you need to know, and so much more. So really quick, this is a loaded jam-packed reaction video. Everything Phil Steele had to say, I am not going to hold back. I'm fired up. You are to hit that like button. And also, it's been a crazy summer. We're posting breaking news every single day, inside intel, recruiting analysis. It's about to get crazier. If you love Nebraska, help us at 19,000 before this season. It's no brainer. Take 2 seconds. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, we have a lot to talk about. It is the best time of the year. It is college football preview magazine season, and you're seeing magazines being released almost every single day, whether it's ESPN, Lindy's, Athlon, but all those other magazines have to move to the side because the granddaddy of them all was just released this week. You know him, you love him, Phil Steele, one of the biggest experts in the college football realm. Everything he says in the summer comes true when we get to the fall. So, of course, today we have to react to everything he had to say about Nebraska, an exclusive look at some pages in his magazine. But really quick disclaimer, I'm not going to show you the entire magazine. It will be linked down below in the description. 20 bucks, I believe, for a digital copy, 25 for the actual, print copy. But again, he does a great job. Definitely buy that because not only are we Nebraska fans, we're college football fans, right? We want to know what's going on around America, so absolutely get the magazine. But I'm going to start to show you a little bit of it today and everything he had to say around Nebraska. With that being said, let's get into it. With the Cornhuskers, Phil Steele. Now, I want to start off looking at America, looking at where we stack up nationally compared to other teams in the Big Ten, where we stack up against, other teams, maybe even the SEC. And I want to start off with our talent. We like to believe that our talent's so much better than everybody else. Well, let's go to Phil Steele's draft-eligible players. He ranked all of the top positions, right? Top 60 quarterbacks, top 75 running backs, and so on. Where do Nebraska's players stack up against the rest? Let's begin with this. Let's go one by one. Quarterback, running back, and so on. Well, we do have a draft-eligible quarterback by the name of Anthony Colandrea. Where do we believe he's ranked? We've seen some publications rank him as high as top 20. Did Phil Steele put him there? No, he did not. You have to go all the way down the list for Anthony Colandrea to be listed as the 38th best draft-eligible quarterback in America, just ahead of Colton Joseph, funny enough, and Malik Murphy, funny enough. A lot of people wanted Colton Joseph in the portal, but, you look at who's ahead of him. Bo Pribula is ahead of him, somebody who we actually passed up on in the portal. You can even go a little bit further here, right? Ethan Grunkmeyer's ahead of him. Noah Fifita's ahead of him. Jaden Craig, who we passed up on at TCU's ahead of him. Drake Lindsey's ahead of him. Nika Amalavi is ahead of him. Dylan Ryla, our good friends at 12. Interesting. So right off the bat, you're already seeing this. Phil Steele's not buying hype on Anthony Colandrea, and you're about to see why. Hint, hint, it's the turnover issue. But I mean, it's not a terrible ranking. But again, Anthony's with Colton Joseph. He's with Aiden Childs, right? He's kind of with the bottom of the bunch here. Look at this. Devin Dampier's really low. Devin Dampier's at 55. I don't know why Dampier. Maybe, and I know what he's doing here. He's grading them based on like an NFL draft standpoint, but still, Dampier should be higher. But anyways, okay, that's quarterback. Let's go down the line. Let's go to running back. Do you think any of Nebraska's running backs are on here? Absolutely not. None of our running backs are on here. But you know who's on here? Our old friend Kenneth Williams is listed as the 72nd best draft-eligible running back, and not a single Nebraska running back's on here. So that's interesting. We let Kenneth Williams walk for nothing, for no reason. Receivers. We do have some receivers on here, luckily. We have Nyziah Hunter listed at 31. That's a good sign for Nebraska. And also, if you scroll down here, we have Jacory Barney listed at 64. I was trying to look for Kwazi. It's interesting that Kwazi is not on here. He loves Kwazi Gilmer. But Kwazi, for whatever reason, did not make the cuts. As for tight end, of course, Nebraska does have one of the worst tight end cores in America, so no, we do not have a tight end. All right, let's go down line. Let's go to the offensive line here for the Huskers. Do we have any offensive linemen? We do. For center, we have Justin Evans listed at 28. I mean, that's not bad. You love for him to be higher. I'm of the belief that Justin Evans could be a top 5 center in college football if everything goes right. So not crazy respect there, but at least we have an offensive lineman on this list. Let's go to tackle. Is Elijah Pritchett on here? He is. He's down here at number 55 for the Huskers. So, hey, that is the first time we've even had an offensive tackle on this list in a while either. You look at guard. We also have a guard on this list. We have Brandon Black. I believe, where's Brandon Black at? Here are the guards. The guards are down here. Brandon Black is at 31 in America. So we have 3 offensive linemen who are considered to be top 50 draft prospects at their position. That's not bad for Nebraska. That's improvement. That's improvement. Okay. Looking at the defensive line, you guys already know. Oh, we do have a defensive line. Whoa. Williams Nwaneri's at 19? That's crazy. They're not wrong though. And Nwaneri is such a freak. Like Nwaneri doesn't even have that good of a season. He's gonna be drafted. Like Nwaneri could have like 4 sacks and he could, go to the NFL draft and he'll be in like a 4th round selection just because of his upside. But other than that, no other Nebraska player on here, which is expected with our defensive line. Okay, let's go to the linebackers. Do we have any linebackers on here? We do, and this is where things kind of start to heat up for the Huskers. We have Owen Chambliss listed as the 16th best outside linebacker in the NFL draft process. We have Benjamin Shavers at 53 at inside linebacker. And then we don't have any players in the secondary ranked on here, funny enough. But look at this. Look at punt returner. Jacory Barney listed as the 3rd best punt returner in America. Interesting. Okay, not bad start for the Huskers. Okay, now I want to get to some positional rankings. Now, this is national, right? They're ranking all of the positional groups nationally. Where does Nebraska stack up against the rest? Let's go one by one. Quarterback. Phil Steele believes we have the 43rd best-ranked quarterback room in America. Yeah, it's not... It is what it is, right? So he had us a lot higher last year. He's a big fan of Dylan Raiola. I'll just put it at that. That's a big downgrade from what he had us at last year, but we'll see. We'll see what Anthony Colandrea. And I try to tell you guys this all the time. We have good depth in the quarterback room, but the depth doesn't matter for the most part. Like, yes, TJ will probably start a game because there's going to be injuries. So, depth does matter, but you don't want to have 3 good quarterbacks. You want to have one of those guys be great. Who can be great? And that's why I have an issue with the Nebraska quarterback room. I don't know who could be great. But again, Phil Steele is not a big fan of Anthony Colandrea, what you're about to see in this magazine. Running back, give me your best guess. Yes, Nebraska's running backs are not ranked. Look at who's ranked out of us. Akron, according to Phil Steele, is a better running back room than us. Colorado State Army is a better running back room than us. Arkansas, Toledo. But of course, Nebraska's running back's not ranked. Who's on our schedule has a really good running back from Oregon? Yeah, Jordan Davidson. He's a stud. Ohio State, of course, Bo Jackson. Okay, so that's running back. Let's go to the next one. Receivers. Where are receivers ranked? 21st in America. That's not bad. Hey, we'll take that. We'll take 21st in America. I personally will take that. Okay, 21st in America. That's where we want to be at. That's exactly where we want to be at. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the offensive line. Phil Steele has us listed as the 22nd best offensive line in America. I'm taking that too. Hey, listen, we were one of the worst offensive lines in America this year. Thinks we're going to be 22nd? Tremendous upgrade. He's already given respect to all the transfers we brought in. Jeepway. We're right up there with Georgia Tech. We're right up there with Washington. We're right up there with Texas. A lot of good offensive line, Virginia Tech as well. Okay, now let's get to the defense here. This is where it gets a little bit sketchy. Does he believe that Nebraska has a top 5, top 60? Does he believe Nebraska will have a top 50 defensive line in America? No. He does not have our defensive line ranked whatsoever. He believes that UConn has a better defensive line than us. Old Dominion. He's probably about right. Oh, wait, what? Never mind. Oh, whoa. He has this listed at 37? Hold on. I got to go back to the running backs. Did you end up breaking our running backs then? Did I read this wrong? No, I was right. He didn't rank our running backs. Okay. I was like, oh my goodness, maybe I read the running backs wrong. He has I cannot believe he's ranked our defensive line. Wow. Okay, we'll get back to that as we progress. I want to hear what I have to say about our defensive line. All right, let's get to linebackers. 24th in America, not bad. I like that actually a lot. I agree. I actually think it should be higher, to be honest with you. Secondary, he thinks our secondary will be, let's zoom in here. He thinks our secondary will be 15th in America. So we actually get a little bit of write-up here at the bottom. He says, this should be the best Husker secondary of the Matt era. All 4 stars are experienced, and corners Andrew Marshall, Donovan Jones are fast and instinctive. He's not wrong. He should have gave a shout out to Danny Odom too and Dwayne McDougal. But hey, okay, we actually have a top 15 ranked unit. And then look at the special teams here for the Huskers. Where does he have us at? I'm assuming we're ranked. Should be on here. Yep, we're listed at 22. So for the most part, outside of the running backs, we're ranked with everything. And for the majority of things, we're actually ranked inside the top 25. The linebackers inside the top 25, secondary top 25, receivers top 25, offensive line top 25, defensive line was top 40. Interesting. Well, I think I'll take that, to be completely honest with you. I'll take that. All right, let's go to the next. I want to react to this. So this is ranking all of the schedules in America and how hard is Nebraska's schedule actually? Because you've heard the headlines, oh, Nebraska has one of the hardest schedules in the Big Ten. Do we actually have one of the hardest schedules in the Big Ten? Phil Steele says we don't. He says that we only have the 26th hardest schedule in America. That actually over here on the bottom left, you'll see that Nebraska actually is one of the most overrated schedules in the country, where according to the NCAA win percentage, if you're just going off of win percentage from last year, we would have the 4th hardest schedule in America. But when you add in the actual improvements that a lot of these teams made, or in our case, that a lot of these teams got worse, we deflate our schedule to only having the 26th hardest in America. Which, I mean, let's count. Hold on. Where does that stack up against the rest of the Big Ten? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, 7, 8. We have 8 Big Ten teams ahead of us. So Phil Steele only thinks we have like the 9th hardest schedule in the Big Ten. That's middle of the pack. So I don't want to hear anybody say, "Oh, we have a super hard schedule this year." Like this is going to be what our schedule is almost every single year. Like it's just when you play in a tough conference, you're going to play tough teams. Our schedule last year, I think a lot of people got like comfortable with that. They got used to that. Our schedule last year was the easiest draw we're ever going to get, and that's why I was so angry Nebraska didn't take advantage of it, because we didn't play really. We dodged all of the really good teams in conference. The hardest team we played was Michigan and USC, and they weren't even that good last year, and we still couldn't beat them. We're never going to get that schedule again. Okay, so, all right. We haven't even got to what he has to say about Nebraska specifically. We have to get into the most improved, the power rankings, what he has to say about the Huskers. Really quick, though, of course, I do have to, in fact, thank the partner of today's video, that, of course, being Prize Picks. You guys know the deal Prize Picks. Again, World Cup's going on, man. I don't even know. Messi what is it? Hat trick. He had a hat trick yesterday. No, I know what I'm talking about. No, I don't. I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to World Cup. But here are my picks for today. You guys know deal Prize Picks. Use my code HMA. Put up $5, get $50 back instant labs. Make sure only play responsibly. And if you have the means, big shout. Prize Picks partnering with me on the channel. All right, let's get back to it. So we haven't even really got to the madness here. Let's get into the most improved teams. So if you notice here on the bottom right, most improved teams for Phil Steele, Nebraska's not inside the top 14. Last year, we were inside the top 14. I believe he has as like the 8th or 7th most improved team in America. This year, he doesn't think we're improved at all. That's not a good sign. Not a good sign if Phil still thinks that we haven't improved, at least from a top 15 standpoint. Even like like Wisconsin's on here. You see a team like UCLA on here. Okay, that's not awesome. Would have loved to have been on that list. Let's look at this, folks. Let's look at this. So he's most improved stats, and also what he thinks is going to be the top certain units in America. So let's just go left to right here. Most improved rushing game, of course, Nebraska not listed here. Doesn't think our rushing game is going to be good, along with our offensive passing game, and points we're not even listed. Are we listed all when it comes to anything offensively? No, he does not think our offense is going to be great, or at least not top 15 in America in any department. Okay, let's look at the defense. Does he have us listed for anything on defense? He does. He does. He believes that our defensive rush will be a lot better than what it was last year. Our defense against the rush will be a lot better than what it was last year. The 12th most improved in America. So that's pretty good. And I do expect Nebraska's run game to be a little bit better from a defensive standpoint, just because not only bringing in Rob Orts, but having a competent defensive line coach for the first time in a while. As for the rest of the defensive statistics, are we anywhere? He doesn't even think we're gonna have a top 15 pass D. I think we'll be a top 15 pass D again. We had one last year. Interesting. So he doesn't think our defense is elite, but he thinks it's gonna be not bad. All right, let's get into the actual rankings. Let's get to the rankings here. So here is his 2026 power poll. Now, this is not the way he thinks, things are going to end, but, based on talent, based on coaching, based on everything we add in the portal, this is where he has Nebraska at. He has the Huskers listed as the 32nd best team on his power poll. So, right by UCLA, right by Houston, right by Vanderbilt, Minnesota. I mean, that's not unexpected. I mean, Nebraska's been ranked about 32 all offseason long, so that's kind of what I thought it was going to be. Kind of disappointed. I thought it was going to be better. Okay, but that's just his power poll. Let's see his actual prediction for Nebraska. Again, this is just based on talent, based on everything, all the factors. This is where Nebraska stands against the rest. But his other poll is his rankings, the way he thinks the season is going to end. Oh, I didn't even put it on here. Hold on. I got to put it on here. 1 second. Let's get it up. Let's pull it up. Oh my goodness. We got to get to it. Oh, good. I just clicked right on it. Here we go. Here it is. Okay. So he has the top 26, the top 40 for this season. And he has Nebraska listed right here at the bottom at 61. He thinks Nebraska will end as the 61st best team in America with everything that happens this year. Iowa's at 26, South Carolina at 28, TCU at 36, Auburn way ahead of us. I mean, you even go down here, force Minnesota ahead of us. Not great. So he has us listed from a ranking standpoint, the way things are will end at 61st in America. Not very good. I should have took a screenshot of that. Okay, with that being said, let's get into the Nebraska rankings. Where does he have us stacked up against the rest of the Big Ten? Well, first off, we have to get into the Big Ten forecast. Let's go over the rankings here in detail. Ohio State's number one team in the conference. I think that's fine. I think the first three are pretty interchangeable. Me personally, I would go Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, but he goes Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon. Okay. USC at 4, I agree with that. Michigan at 5, I agree with that. Penn State at 6. I'm of the believer Penn State's a little bit overrated this offseason. They just brought in Iowa State's roster, and that's really about it. But still, that's fine. Washington at 7. You guys know how I feel about Washington. Whatever. They have Washington at 7, Iowa at 7. So they have them sharing a ranking. And then they have Nebraska at 9. So Nebraska listed as the 9th best team in the Big Ten, according to Phil. Still ahead of Minnesota, ahead of Illinois, who share a ranking. Or excuse me, we're technically tied. We're tied with Minnesota, Illinois, because he uses something like advanced statistics, so we're tied with them, but we're ahead of them on this sheet. So I'm going to give us the 9th spot, and those guys are 10 and 11. Wisconsin below us. Okay, that's not bad. Hey, we're inside the top 10. I'll take that. Okay, let's get into what he specifically had to say about Nebraska. Let's just go down the line. Let's summarize this. And again, you guys can pause the video and look at this yourself as well. But I just want to, first off, I want to look at the starting lineup. Let's see how accurate he has the starting lineup to be. Let's see. Because a lot of these preview magazines are not accurate. Starting lineup, he has Mekhi as a starter. Could be. Offensive line's accurate. No, offense is pretty accurate. Defense is not accurate. Winneri is going to start for us, so that's wrong. Winneri is going to probably start over Lenhart. Secondary is all messed up. Donovan Jones is going to be free safety. Rex Guthrie is not starting. Justin Wright is definitely not starting. We're going to put Dwayne McDougal at strong. Other than that, the starting line is pretty accurate. Okay, let's get into what he specifically had to say. I want to see what he had to say about the quarterbacks. He's talking about Dylan Raiola. Okay, he likes Dylan Raiola a lot. So they bring Anthony Colandrea, who had 11 starts for Virginia, then was first team Mountain West at UNLV in 2025. Okay, he didn't really have anything. And he said the depth is great and Colandrea should have a big year. Okay. Running backs. Oh, they mentioned Jamal Rule in here. Okay. Has the home run ability. He was watching the spring game. Rule likes his top 4 running backs, but they won't match Johnson's production. Yeah, he's right. Okay, let's see what I have to say about the coaches. I want to hear this. 4th-year head coach Matt Rule took over as head coach. Temple, whatever, Baylor. Okay. He's just basically saying who the coaches are. All right. Let's get to the right-hand side. The forecast. That's what really matters. His predictions for us this season. In 2023, they had the 6th offensive coordinator in 6 years. There's no way that's right. Was that? No. 'Cause we had a couple. No. There's no way. That's okay. Anyways. Last year, I called for their most productive offense to 2018. My computer had them at 28. 28, and they what? Oh, okay. My computer had them at 28.1 points per game, and they had 28.7. So okay, he's pretty spot on. This year they add Anthony Colandrea, so they have a mobile quarterback that Rule covets. They do lose their top player, running back Johnson, have a tougher schedule. Defense, he thinks that Rob Orts has a move to a 4-2-5. Did wonders at San Diego State last season. They face a tougher schedule. He keeps saying we play a tougher schedule. Okay. Okay, one thing I like about Phil Steele. I mean, he always talks about the past. We're trying to focus on the future here. We know that Matt Rowe coached at Temple. Let's just talk about this season, Phil Steele. Come on, come on. All right, I'm just gonna for the 2026 page. I'm going right here to the bottom. I'm getting right here to the bottom. Okay, he's talking all about the past. The past is irrelevant. Irrelevant. He says the new offense will feature more quarterback runs, but does lose top running back Johnson. Improved quarterback and offensive line play should have them more potent. This is Rule's best team, but they do face a tougher schedule, drawing Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon after avoiding all three in 2025. I expect them to be 5-0 before hosting Indiana and facing Oregon, but should top last year's 7-win total and could surprise. Okay, I mean, he thinks we're going to start 5-0. He thinks we're going to be better than 7 wins, so I'm assuming he's predicting 8 wins for us. But nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Let's look at this backside here. Anything that really stands out? Talking about the recruiting class. Yeah, a bunch of statistics for everybody to indulge in. We're just focusing on the future, but again, there's a lot of good stuff here about the past for Nebraska as well. And last season. So yeah, interesting. I mean, he said a whole lot without saying a whole lot, if you know what I mean. But interesting. Again, you can tell he's thinking about 8 wins for us this year. With the way he put us in the Big Ten. Honestly, my forecast, he thinks we're going to go 7-5 and win a bowl game. Okay, cool. Let's get to the rest of the Big Ten here real quick. I want to see where the rest of the Big Ten stacked up. Well, I want to see where the rest of our schedule stacked up. But okay, this is really important. This is something I always like to look at. He ranks all the units in the Big Ten and where Nebraska stacks up against all the 18 squads. So just take that as the other equation. Let's just focus on Nebraska compared to every other school in this conference. Quarterback play. He thinks Nebraska has the 9th ranked quarterback room in the conference. That's pretty all right. Running back, dead last at 16. He has us tied with Maryland. I think Maryland's a better running back room with us than DeJuan Williams. And Purdue. Okay, that's fair. Receiver room, he thinks was the fourth best receiver room in the Big Ten. Only ones that are better: Ohio State, Oregon, and USC. I think he's right. That's actually high praise. That's actually really high praise. Oh, Indiana he has ahead of us too. Offensive line 7th, we'll take that. Defensive line 8th. That's a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. That's a lot better. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. Linebackers, he has us as the 6th best linebacker group. I think it should probably be higher than that. DB's 4th, special teams 3rd, and then coach 7th. He's buying the Rule aid. He thinks we're the 7th best coach. Again, I know it's tied with a couple of these others, like again, tied with Shiano. I love that he gives Shawn respect. Shawn's a really good coach. He gives David Brown a lot of respect too. PJ Fleck. Interesting though. Really, really interesting. Okay, let's slide over here to the right-hand side. His preseason all Big Ten teams, couple Cornhuskers on here. You have first team punt returner, our good friend Jacory Barney. Clap it up for Jacory. We got a first teamer for the first time in like a decade on one of these. Now, it's a special teams player, but still. Look at our good friend Ben Brahmer, Nebraska legend, his first team all Big Ten tight end. Yeah, that would have been nice to have him, wouldn't it have been? Dude, Griffin Wild is going to be a stud too for Northwestern. He's given a lot of these dudes respect. All right, as for any other Cornhuskers on here, I do believe we have one more. I think it was Kwazi was on here. I believe Kwazi. Yep, Kwazi, fourth team all Big Ten. So he does not think Nyziah's going to get all Big Ten. He does not think that Jacory's going to get all Big Ten from a receiver standpoint. He has Kwazi up here. Interesting. As for any players in Nebraska's defense, I rolled through this one time. Yeah, I don't think we have anybody. So again, he does not love our defense, as you've kind of seen throughout this. He thinks it's not going to be bad, but interesting. Yeah. There's so much. It's almost impossible to talk about all of this in one video because there's just so much. There's so much. All right. Final thing before we get out of here, I want to look over all of our opponents this year. The Big Ten, our non-conference opponents. Let's just go one by one. All right. Let's go to, first off, our non-conference. So we play 2 MAC teams. We also play North Dakota, but we're going to be North Dakota. But let's just see, where do our MAC opponents stack up in their conference? Phil still has Ohio as the 3rd ranked team in the MAC. He also has I believe he has Bowling Green as tied for 7th in the MAC. So not terrible, right? Better than Akron last year. Akron was terrible. Ohio's not going to be bad. Like, there's a very real possibility Ohio could give us a run for our money. Like, reminder, that they played in the Frisco Bowl last year against Anthony Colandrea. They made Anthony Colandrea look terrible. Like they have the formula for Colandrea. That's what I'm a little bit worried about. Yeah. Let's see. He says the Bobcats have just one player back on offense, but their defense looks strong as usual. Yeah, probably will be strong. And Bowling Green, what does he say about Bowling Green? Well, also I want to look at the units here. Let's see the units. Ohio, yeah, top rated pretty much on a lot of defensive categories here. Yeah, third best defensive line, second best linebacker core in the MAC. As for Bowling Green, second best linebacker core, third best quarterback. Yeah, Bowling Green might not be bad either. I think Bowling Green's a lot worse than what he's given credit for. I'm just not a big fan of Eddie George as their head coach. Okay, that's our non-conference slate. Again, feel free to stop the video if you want with any of these guys, with our opponents. And then I just want to look over real quick the other teams here that we're playing, just some notable teams in the Big Ten. We have the Michigan State Spartans, our good friends. We're playing, that's our first Big Ten game of the year, in my opinion, the most important Big Ten game of the year, because we absolutely need a win or else our season's going to go off the rails. He said, look at that. He said that in 2021, they had a very lucky year. I think they were tough in 2020 with Kenneth Walker. Let's go to the bottom here. Let's go to the bottom here with Michigan State. Pat Fitzgerald's a great hire. Yeah, and they got LeVar Woods and they got Joe Rossi. They're keeping him. He's a great defensive coordinator previously at Minnesota. The Spartans lost 43 players to the transfer portal, so they will have to rely on the solid coaching brain trust to get this team performing above its talent and experience level. They do avoid Ohio State, Indiana, USC. But 2 coaching hires in 3 years have this a completely rebuilt roster, and they rank third lowest in the Big Ten on my homegrown chart. This looks like another rebuilding year, but Fitzgerald will get them pointed in the right direction. So he basically just told you he thinks Michigan State's going to suck. he just said, yeah, it's going to be a rebuilding year for them. Let's look at their depth chart. Yeah, Cam Edwards is going to be good, but Alessio Milakovic is not good. We played him last year. We know he's not good. Their defensive line's terrible too. Yeah. Any others here that are interesting? Let's see. Illinois. He has Illinois, I believe, tied with us. I think he had tied with us at 9th, but we're technically ahead of them. Let's see. I want to go to the bottom of here again. Bottom right. Illinois will have the nation's largest scoreboard. Oh, okay. Why put that on there, Phil? Why? Who cares about their scoreboard? I mean, we are playing at Illinois this year. Maybe it's going to distract us. Bielema's done a great job here, but this group is less experienced. They lose a lot of talent on the offensive line. They have a brand new quarterback as well, and Kane Hauser, who I'm not tremendously high on. The schedule is more manageable this year, but they lose a bulk of their offensive and defensive lines and quarterback, like I just said. And expect another bowl, but it may be tough matching last year's 9-win total. Yeah, so he's basically predicting 9 for Illinois. Okay, let's look at Iowa here, because Iowa loses a lot as well. They lose Gronowski. They lose a bunch of offensive linemen, defensive linemen. They lose Weegen, who was a stud. Weegen was special. Brutal 3-game stretch. But they will have their usual 8+ win season. It will be considered a Big Ten contender. Yeah, they're probably right. Hold on, what's at the bottom here? Oh, it's just a couple other people. All right. And then the last one, Washington. I want to look over Washington because that's a big game blackout for us. He's buying some Washington hype. Washington was in playoff contention at 2nd, but lost Wisconsin. Yeah, people forget about that Washington loss. That was bad. Damon Williams is back. They have a veteran offensive line. Again, yeah, their offensive line's tough. But again, Washington's running back core is so much worse. The receiver core is so much worse. I believe their secondary is so much worse. Wow, he thinks they're going to be a playoff contender after 10 games. We'll see. They have a decent ramp up in their schedule. I should say they have an easy start of their schedule. Yeah, it gets really ugly with Indiana, Oregon. They play us late as well. Okay. All right. That is Phil Steele's magazine. Looking over everything, and not everything. I don't want to show you guys everything because you guys know the deal, right? You guys I'd get the magazine. I'm not going to flip through all 300 pages, but I thought that was pretty cool to see what he had to say about Nebraska. All in all, what did we learn? We learned that, honestly, Nebraska's talent stacks up probably better than what we thought. He's predicting probably about 8 wins. Thinks we're going to be a little bit better than last year, but not a whole lot better. We learned that Jacory Barney is supposed to be one of the best punt returners in America, I suppose. We learned that Ohio is going to be a very, very tough non-conference game potentially. We learned that he believes we're going to be the 9th best team in the Big Ten. Okay. Yeah, a lot of stuff to digest there. That's a lot of information, right? A lot of information in a short amount of time. So let me know your takeaways from Phil Steele. Again, make sure, last shout out, make sure to buy the magazine. It will be linked down below. Get $20 for a digital, 25 for a print copy. Again, it's such a good buy every single year. Phil Steele, he's the man. Shout out to him for getting this work done as he does for years and years and years. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. If you made it this far, hit the like button, subscribe. As always, go Red, go Met Roll.